Hello and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today we're going to be looking at the best DPS for shotguns heading into Season 11 for Destiny 2. And the first weapon archetype we're going to be looking at is the Slug shotgun. And I'm using Jinora's axe here because you can roll it with triple tap, which increases the sustained damage. And you can see here over 8 seconds I'm able to put out 96,720 damage. Meaning the DPS now is 12,090, but after the 30% buff it's going to be receiving heading into Season 11, the new DPS will be 15,717. The 1 mag damage here is where it really shines though, being able to pump out 10 shots with triple tap, hitting for 209,560. Next we're taking a look at Python with the 1-2 punch. This is probably the best option because you can get up to 10 shots in the mag with overflow. And keep in mind, 1-2 punch is currently bugged, where if you are shooting and then punching at full speed, the buff doesn't reapply and go away fast enough to affect every melee. So it only affects every other melee, meaning it should be 10,906 per melee, but every other one is actually 2,424. Every shot though is consistent if you hit a full crit at 17,837. Meaning we have a DPS of 18,848 and a 1 mag total damage, including all the melees of course, of 245,020. Next we're taking a look at the new Seraph shotgun with trench barrel to see if that is still a viable option. So we're punching to proc the trench barrel perk to get our damage buff, firing 3 shots, punching to reapply it, and firing the remaining 3. The melee, again, we hit 2 for our regular melee damage of 2,424. Shotgun shots, 6 fired off, each hitting just over 22,000, meaning a total damage of the magazine is 136,860, and this takes 5.8 seconds to get off. Meaning we end up with a DPS of 23,597 and a 1 mag damage of 136,860. And last, we're going to be testing the same Seraph shotgun, but this time with Vorpal weapon, which does extra damage to bosses, to see if this is also a viable option for DPS. And as you can see, I definitely mess up the test here in terms of hitting a crit every time, but it is very easy to fill in the gaps here of the video to assume that if every shot was a full crit, what our total damage and DPS would be. So each shotgun shot, if you hit all crit, is 15,695, 6 shots for a total damage of 94,170. But because you don't have to apply the melees, you're actually able to get this off really fast at only 3.9 seconds. Meaning we end up with a DPS of the highest of these 4 options, sitting at 24,146 and a 1 mag damage of 94,170. So now let's look at it all together, just to recap and get some conclusions. So the Slug shotgun's DPS is still the lowest, even after the buff it will receive next season, but it has a very impressive 1 mag DPS because per shot, although the fire rate is slow, it does a lot. So if you want to be efficient with your ammo and do burst damage without having to reload, then it's still a pretty good option. And you can see that the DPS and the damage sort of flip as we move up. So the 1-2 punch DPS is then a little bit higher. The damage is also higher for this because we're mixing in so many highly buffed melees, so it's also an efficient use of ammo. Then we get to trench barrel, Seraph shotgun DPS, which is 23,500. So DPS going up, but the mag damage is going down because there's only 6 shots, whereas the other ones have are both able to get off 10. And then we finish off with Vorpal, which actually surprised me with having the highest DPS, but then of course you're just firing 6 shots with no gimmicks and melees thrown in between. If you want to damage most efficiently, and then after that you're going to have to start reloading. So highest DPS, but lowest in the mag. So hopefully you can find this information useful for choosing which shotgun to use when you enter an encounter heading into the next season. If you found this interesting or helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.